Hello, welcome to another episode of the 12 Fantasias by Telemann. Today we are finally covering Fantasy number 5. As you've been hearing the beginning all this time, today we're going to hear the whole thing. I really enjoyed working on this Fantasia, learning through all the details and how to work on it. So first let's listen to the whole Fantasia, and then we're going to approach on how to work on this piece, what's the key things that we need to improve and work on this fantastic piece. Enjoy. As you heard, this is a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful fantasy, and it really lives to what fantasy means to Telemann, because it really introduces lots of concepts together in a form that is new. It opens the possibility to so many more things. It reminds me very much of the structure of a concerto grosso, with this very short movement within the movements. Allegro, presto, then just the one line of a slow movement, which is basically walking bass. And then finally opening up with this party at the end in the Allegro. And what I really like is how it all flows really well. It's not forced, it's not strange, shapeless. It makes sense altogether. Also, he's able to have at the same time an overture, very similar to being also in the same, almost in the same key. This is A major, but it's almost the same key. It is the same key the second time. You could almost introduce them together. It's basically the same movement. I wonder if he had access to the prelude by Bach, or if it was the other way around and Bach copied this one. But it has this element of prelude, and then it has the fugue within that. With the polyphony that comes with it. So from a pedagogical point of view, this is super interesting, especially if you're about to work on the prelude, let's say the last partita in E major by Bach, because it will prepare so well, but also it has so many elements and a slightly easier form and shorter form. Anyway, how to work on this piece? For the overture, it's a lot of open, really fast string crossing. So using the wrist is really the main thing to do. But of course, sometimes we need to use more when we need to increase the volume. So you should be able to do this and then open it up and then close it again. Both times that we have this. Intonation wise, with the second prelude, let's say, just drop the E. And then you get the intonation purely there. Let's talk about the fugue, because that's probably the most difficult section of this fantasy. And I think it's super important when we have a fugue that we understand, or we make understand what the theme is at all times. So the theme, even that they're written with long notes, I think it's very important that they are played very much like bells. Pum, pum, pum. Because otherwise we won't be able to hear the polyphony that comes with it. And especially the second time, where the fugue is a little bit more written out. So I'm going to play the second one. So we have the first theme. Second one. So third theme. And then we go again into a into this kind of moving around. But the themes are really, really important. Now for these sections, I chose to change some of the bowings just for clarity and for variety. So I'm in the first person now. Second time less, and I split it in 2 and 2. Also, I can expand more at the end. And here it's just following the melody again when we don't have the counterpoint. Of course, we do have the 2 melodies. So we still need to hear those 2 voices, but it's the melody that we're following more. Let's just quickly talk about the andante. Like I said, it's like a walking bass. So we have I chose to keep the bass on the D string and the G string for the sound, and also not to go into the E string for the top voice. Top voice I would suggest to play, if you can, with another person at the same time, just to get the 2 voices really singing and to see the shape. Like because then we can really explore how to play that bass like if he was a cellist. And then you just put them together as much as you can, following the bass. Etc. And I think it's really important that we follow the bass for this, because that's where the movement is. There are other melodies just happening at the same time. Finally, the Allegro. This, we've been talking about counterpoint, we've been talking about polyphony, and the Allegro is the opposite, it's the galant style. So this really is a mix of all the other fantasy styles. It's more of a party, it's more of a just having fun. So that's the main thing, is a lot of bow, a lot of energy. And then when we have double stops, like, it's just to reinforce the melody. It's not as a counterpoint. So it's a very different style of writing and different way of playing. We don't need to worry so much about listening to different voices. It's basically the main voice and then some extra harmonies that go with it. There are some tricky sections here. For example, first time is, and then second time is, making sure that the voice is heard in either one or the other. Also, this is a bit tricky. I will practice that separately. And the way, I'll give you a little pro tip here. Instead of doing a legato, which is very hard, I separate them a little bit. Just slightly. Just to give clarity to each note, it sounds much better than legato. And for fun, I also, the second time, changed it. I don't know if you spotted it. Just for fun, different texture. It's always good to have fun with these pieces. At the end of the day, you're playing on your own. You may as well just have fun. You may as well just choose to change things if you feel like musically makes sense and it benefits it, not just following what's written because Telemann said so. And there's a couple of errors in this edition. So listen carefully, because there's a couple of places where I play the other notes that are meant to be. If you're interested in these parts, I will upload them all up on Patreon very soon, and then you can see my bowings, my fingerings, and any addition mistakes that there might be. I hope you will enjoy this. I hope you enjoy playing this piece. If you do, if you're working on this piece, just write a comment on the video, and I will make sure that I'll read it and I'll respond to you and see if there's anything else I can help you with. Stay tuned for the next one. Which one is it going to be?